We've had a great week working with a few of the counties around Georgia. Drove down to Thomasville on Tuesday, and we started off Wednesday morning with a session in Thomasville, and it went really good. Had a tree there to work with. It's a big pine tree, kind of rotted on one side and covered in poison ivy, of course. We took it down, placed it between two other trees, and the guys were really amazed. Had about 5 foot of side lean, I guess about 4 foot of forward lean. Left there, and also we took a small one. I think I've got a video of it. A small one with some back lean, and took it back over with a wedge, about a 8-inch diameter. The guys were really good with that one. And then we left there. We drove up to Oglethorpe, Georgia. Had about 13. Went over and took down a pine tree behind their facilities. Great group of guys. Had a blast with them. We drove from there up here to Baldwin County, just outside Milledgeville. Been here before, I think last year or the year before, and great group of guys here, and we'll be working and a little demonstration and going over and cutting a tree. So looking forward to that. The weather has just been amazing. We're down here, it's 77 today, and yesterday I got it to about 73. I was sweating a little bit on that big tree.
Look how much it's tightened up. It's cooling down. It loosen right back up again. What does that tell you?
You tighten up.
Getting hot. You know, that technique is very safe unless you have people in the area. So first thing you want to do is get everybody back. It's very safe because you're just maneuvering that butt back and forth.
Now, is there another technique than that to get that down like that, or is that about basically the best way to do it?
Well, you could. A lot of people will slash them, but what happens when you slash?
What's slash mean?
That means just cut straight down, let it fall.
Down, right.
And if you do that, it basically hits the ground and jolts. And then you'll have stuff break out. Right. This is that tool I had out there. It's got a flat file and a round file. And so here, if I take here, I don't have a lot of damage on this chain. It just dulled the edge, okay? And so when I sharpen it, look at the edge I put back on there. You see it?
Right, quick.
So I'm touching the whole thing. So if I have a vise, I can put it into it. It's even faster. But I'm not applying pressure down. I'm applying pressure back into the tooth, okay? If I see any damage there, I'm gonna roll it back up, take the damage off that leading edge. If I don't see any damage, I just polish that leading edge. That's all I'm doing. If I have damage, see how that one's starting to discolor there?
Right.
If I wanted to, I could take this back, take damage off of it. Oops, I opened up. And now I can take and I go down as I'm falling back. So I just flatten that whole edge, take damage off. Look,
right.
It's back to like a new one.
Right.
And so as fast as I go around this thing, that I'm not applying pressure on the back stroke. I'm just applying pressure on the forward stroke. As fast as I go around it, the tooth is set and the depth gauge is set. Well, like the group yesterday, they have a shop that does it for them. And that's fine, but you got to have extra chains because you get out there on a storm, somebody's got a sharpener, you got to take new chains. Right. And that's not bad, that's the fastest way to do it. But you got to have somebody that's grinding right too. So if you don't have it ground right, you're not going to cut very well. So I'll flip it around here now. See, that one's rounded over. See that? So I straighten that one up. This one's rounded. See it? And that one's a little bit, see, it's too straight, isn't it? Mm-hmm. See that angle? So I want to come back here with it. So I'll make a couple strokes, and then I put it right back into the face. And that sets it right up to it. I want to show you the difference now when I get to cutting this log. And this chain is, you know, about halfway back. You can twist the file just a little bit, kind of cleans it out. See, that one's got a point damage, see it? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to take it back. So I set it to that angle as close as I can. It's going to take as many strokes as necessary, but the neat thing about this tool is it takes the depth gauge, look at that, looks like a brand new one. Mm-hmm. It takes the depth gauge down in proportion to the height of the point. That one's got point damage. So I'm looking for those 5 things, and that's what I'm identifying on each tooth. Look at that one, it's rounded. That's it. I'm going to cut this off. And if you try to cut it off here at the hinge, it's gonna start grabbing my saw. So I'm gonna go over about 1.5 inches. It should still sit up there, but it cuts it off without grabbing my chain. To cut in here, this tries to grab your chain, but if you go over about 1 inch, that'll cut it right off. Now we've got, this is still kind of up in the air, so I'm going to use little slide knots. Allows that to go down to the ground, then I cut the hinge off. And pretty good chips now. Well, watch this now. If I go up against the dogs, stop every time. If I pull back, now it cuts. Notch sits forward with a hinge, very strong. I don't want that to fall over here where I got to recut it again. I can make it go that way very quickly. Place I've cut there, it's actually severed, especially if you've got a piece of equipment coming. Now let's see this. But this is my hammer there? You got this is
What's your new name, Hammer?
tongue and groove.
Damn, Hammer. What his name? Half tank, Hammer. What Rick just said? Move. What the woman name was out here?
Goddamn free money.
Here, I've got a tongue and a groove joint.
You need something.
So, if I've got this as heel, I don't want it to roll down. I can offset it like a tongue and groove.
One question.
Yeah.
When we cutting trees, he want us to go a little bit further down. So I see you got the halfway. So how would you get that tree down when Keith said go all the way down to the stump with it? If you were gonna cut it up, they try to stop, so we have to come back and cut that stump down.
Well, that particular tree, I would probably put my face notch right down at ground level, pretty close. That'd be the first thing to do to save time. But on the Devon like that, I'll usually cut them higher. On this, I want to show you a stump technique. So I left that one up a little bit. I'm about to show you that.
All right.
Because, you know, you got to cut stumps down. Every cut I've made here, you see it's severed. All you got to do is bump it, and it'll come apart. So, if you've got a tractor coming, as a chainsaw operator, I can walk up through there, have everything cut, don't have to worry about getting stuck. Because every cut I made up there, I was looking at what?
Clean up.
Huh? I was looking up and down, side to side, back and forth.
We'll have to get that next week.
If I don't look at that, what's going to happen? I'm going to get stuck. Well, when you start cutting stumps down sometimes, the weight of the stump starts grabbing your saw. So there's a little technique you can use with a bore cut that'll solve that situation. You see my chain stays sharp, I stay tight on all of those cuts. Why did it stay tight?
Because it was sharp.
Because it's sharp.
I didn't start it flat. But here on this technique, I went in, I started around. I can always get my saw back out. And the reason for it, bed of sawdust. So you can go right at ground level. Take it down, even on a pine like this, you can go below ground. But in this area, I don't know I'd recommend it because there's a lot of sand. But it will work. They just dull your chain. Hopefully we added some things this time for you guys to think about. What I've found over the years is that a chainsaw is something that most everybody is going to have an opportunity to use sometime in life. Because of storms, because of trees at home, trees on the job, whatever it might be. Not everybody, but a good portion of people. And so if you've got an understanding of, first of all, how the chain works, how the saw is supposed to run, and just the basics of understanding pressures and binds by looking at those 4 or 5 things. And if you had to fell a tree, looking at the information of leans. It's very mechanical, isn't it? But if you do, it's some valuable information to carry around. Over the years, I started off really 1976 out of high school, cutting some firewood and stuff. Also running saws, working on them on the bench. And then I started to bump into people that started to make a difference in my career. And you know, it's something where you never know who's going to affect your future. And so it's so important. If you got people coming in, you know, and sharing information with you, a lot of times it'll be a piece of equipment, a salesman or something like that on a piece of equipment that they're buying to make your job easier, or a pickup truck, or whatever it might be. I'm gonna challenge you is to learn everything you can about it, because you never know. And chainsaws have been very good to me over the years. That's all I do. I just travel around. Lucky enough to have the RV, and my wife and I and the dogs go with us. All our kids are older. We got 13 grandkids. We don't see as much as we want to, but when you start to look at it all, we make a pretty decent living at it. And so you start looking. You know, you never know who you're going to meet. Well, I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you.
And hope you picked up something you can use. If not, you know.
What's your YouTube channel?
Timard.
Timard?
Timard. And sign up on it. There's a lot of good stuff. We'll have this on there in a day or two. Please tell those around you and above you if you enjoyed it. If not, you know, let them know. And we'll try to make it better for you, whatever topics that you want to know. If I have to try to find some stuff high, don't go like this, because come back.
Oh wait, that's my mouth. Never mind.
So this one we had good fiber, maybe a little bit thick. I got about an inch, probably 3/4 on that side. But it broke from the back to the front, hinge front still holding. Slid it right down beside the other two, so our top's in the direction that we wanted it. So that one, if we talk about the side lean, you take the farthest limb, tip over there, over here, we're pretty much right dead on. But if I didn't go to the side, what's going to happen? It's going to hit on this other tree.
just made it back to the Eagle's Nest. Had guys that had been through most all of day one. We went out and felled a couple trees and saw how it worked on a hanger and looked at those kinds of things. And the guys were very interested. Bucked up a big pine, and it went very well. So great week this week. In Thomasville and around Montezuma, Oglethorpe area, and then Milledgeville. So went very, very well. Weather was absolutely gorgeous this week. And right now it's back up in the 70s here, so it's really nice to get home to. We've only got one day though, and then we're going to be heading out down to southwestern Alabama, Baldwin Electric down there, and be around Bay Minette. Looking forward to that. Had a great one. Thank y'all for dropping by, and we hope to see you along the ForestApps Road. This is Tim Ard wishing you good sawing.